Welcome. My name is the Chart Artist, and as you know, I do Bitcoin charts. In the back, there's Peter. He's the magician with the buttons, bringing up your comments. So I want to say to you guys, as we're leading up to the end of the year, I'm going to be looking at Bitcoin briefly. Then we're going to be looking at the sea of alts that we've been discussing: the buy zones, the setups, the breakouts, continuations, and everything around that. So take the time, start showing, writing in your comments wherever you're tuning in from. We're streaming out to about 5 different areas now. So write those comments in so that Peter can bring them to me. As a rule, I'm not going to be reading the comments myself anymore because I tend to always go off time as per Peter's request. So if you're angry about that, take it up with Peter. I will give his phone number out at the end of the stream. That being said, guys, Bitcoin. So we had the big idea where I said to you guys, this broadening wedge, and we looked at the statistics a while ago, and I said, well, broadening wedge, amazing. 85%, if we break on top, it's going to continue on higher. And what does this market basically teach us? Your 85% means nothing. Remember, it's just a risk management tool. And now we're back in the broadening wedge, and it brings up the pattern that I've hidden in the daily tile. You see those 3 candles on the left-hand side there. So the argument is, what does that actually mean? What does that pattern signify for us? So if we take Bitcoin over to the 3-day time frame, what do we have? Okay, so now you have that pattern, and the key is simple. You want more. You want it to go up. Let me know in the comments real quick. You want it to go up? Let me show you what you want to see in order for you to be okay with that if it goes up. And while I wait for your obvious yes comments, I mean, if it goes up in everybody's benefit, it's simple. Guys, what we have is we've got a supply zone now. Now, everybody that's going to want to short this, everybody that's got the opposing view in the market, remember, we're frenemies. You're my enemy. I am. When we're talking like this, we're united as a community. But as soon as I flip over to my trade side and I start trading, I'm in it for myself, as is you. So that's the reality about trading. So we can work together as a team, but when it comes to actualizing profit, by definition, it's on you. So for me, the simplest way of looking at this is now there's a little line drawn in the sand. And that's a negotiation. Remember, trading is a negotiation between 2 parties. This is going to go up or down. That's it. Now, if you want to win that negotiation, you're going to have to be willing to pay more than $44,111. So I want to ask you, each and every one of you guys is about 60%, 67, that's ticking, numbers ticking up, of you guys joining in live. Will you buy Bitcoin at 44,111 if I ask you to do so? Let me know in the comments. Peter will bring up. If it's yes, it's a 111. I'll buy. And if it's a no, send me an emoji or something silly so that we know. And then while you guys are going to send that in, I'm just going to look at a few more supplementary charts, and then we're going to come back to that answer, because we are the moving average of the participants in the market. Although we might be a small control group, we're those guys. If you're not willing to pay more for it, and I'm not willing to pay more for it, who's else going to be willing? Or if you're comfortable buying it there, and I'm comfortable buying there, and I will share my thoughts on it as well, then what's to worry about? This thing's going to go up, you know? Okay, so I'm waiting for your answers to pop in. Let's quickly have a look at Bitcoin on the supply of wave idea. So where we are now is a big job that needs to happen. If we want to see price continue, it's as simple as that. We want to see price going higher, okay? Now, trying to counter trade that is a really good strategy. But what you need to then remember is if you do that, that you need to have a tool that's a leading indicator, something that's going to give you a bit of an edge of what potentially is going to happen into the future. The tool that I use for that is the RSI. So let's make this nice and big, and let's bring up this chart so you can see. Now, the tricky thing about this is, in order for me to act on what is clearly evident, a strong bearish divergence, price realistically needs to turn below this line. And that line value is around $38,000. So although the trader in me is feeling hell bearish, And the tile basically speaks to that bullshit or bull market. What is it going to be? The reality is that my sentiment, your feeling, and I'm going to break a rule and just quickly have a look at the comments out there, see what we have. Well, there's a lot of ones. Means absolutely nothing, because the reality is momentum is going to remain until it's not there. And buying above that line should by definition be a big must. We need to be in part of the resistance when there's an uprising. But now there's no longer an uprising. Price has risen. It's up. There is no more uprising. We need to go with the flow now. And the better trade is, if you go with the flow every time, you're going to get it wrong at some stage. But that's going to be close to the top. And come on, how does it get better than that? That's a great deal. Do your HODL bags a favor and subscribe today. Double down, hit that like and notification icon, and let's get charting. Okay, so Fallen Angel says meme coins pumping. Is it not usually a good sign? Yes, probably a really good sign. If memes are pumping, the degens are here. They're going to buy shit. So that's ultimately a really good thing there, and a good observation, Mr. Fallen Angel. And Bobo has something. I think this time we might have slightly different with the ETF and institutional demand. Bobo, I'm going to say something that's going to, and please, I'm not trying to highlight you or anything, but in 2017, when Bitcoin got its first futures ETF, they said it's going to be different this time. And then Ethereum got it. And then 2019, whale adoptions and DeFi is going to be different this time. The market never repeats itself, but it always rhymes. Just remember. And that's why technical analysis works to an extent, because it's the repetitiveness of this. Measuring the risk, you can start to say, well, there's a high probability that you can expect a specific outcome. Now, I apologize for a little bit of a mindset chat there. Normally, we just want to buy shit and know where to go. But it's sometimes worthwhile to just remember who we're trading against and what we're up against. So ultimately, let's look at this now. Forget the raise, and yes, it looks like a busy line chart, but remember, these are just the demand and supply areas. Think of it as a bookmarker to know that when we get to that point, think of it. Think of selling. When we get to that point, think of selling. When we get to that point and we fall back to the previous one, think of buying, because that's what price does. It breaks a wave, breaks a wave, breaks a wave, and that's all that it does. It's always doing it. And when it trends down, resistance loses a wave, then it's, oh shit, breaks it, goes back and tests it, holds it, breaks above it, and creates these little imbalance gaps that if price were to reverse, future price will want to trade within. So this is a beautiful roadmap so that we can see what happened. There was a big gap there. What did price do once it broke out? It traded within it and then fell out. So simple as that. Okay. Looking at this line, it's as simple as that. What? Because what we're looking for is two aspects of trading. When we move in the horizontal, we're looking at time. And when we move in the vertical, we're looking at gains. And momentum is basically the measure of that. So by definition, if we remain bullish, the momentum should remain intact. That's why that white line is important. Nothing other than that. Now you get the momentum traders that can use it to pick up sneaky little buy zones. But as in life, if it breaks that momentum, you can look for a sneaky little sell zone as well. We're still not seeing a real alt season, so we'll look at the dominance now. And the metaverse, NFT gaming, entertainment, and layer ones are there. So funny enough, there's no meme just yet. So the meme's still going to potentially pick up on this or come into this trending market. And then you can always go within the metaverse and start hunting for coins. Big gainers for the day. Bonk. We've looked at Bonk a couple of times. Helium, we looked at Helium, so we're going to look at that again, that one. And storage, maybe we need to have a look at storage. So if you're holding any storage, let me know, guys, so we can actually go and have a look at that. Last little bit of admin real quick. Guys, this video is probably brought to you by Prime XBT. They made it available. Open your Prime account, trade leverage on Prime. That's where I trade leverage only. And if you do so, you can choose whether you want a deposit bonus or do you want discount on your trading fees. So you choose what you want to do. Okay, let's head over to Ethereum real quick. I want to just quickly look at this. Fast price action. If it breaks, there will be confusion. So for now, we're just going to play the play that it breaks. Now, the big key is, if we break above this, and brings back to the tile and the argument of this price ag, we have a strong bullish structure. We didn't engulf it back down or anything, but there was a big panic sell-off. So I still think that we're going to go high. Simple as that. We're going to break that red line and things start going to go crazy. But it's just a cautionary tale from you guys. So if you want to buy, what do you want to do? Well, you would not necessarily buy on the daily, but you've got a clear line defined in the sand. The bulls step up. So there's a line. If we go into that wick, somewhere there, it's a buy. We want to see it step up. And hopefully we do another big step, because ultimately the big steps is telling us that it's good. But if we do a little step, price barely gets above it, and we've got yet another divergence. Remember what happens? Going to go back to BTC real quick. Previous bull cycle, everybody was blind drunk on the success. What happens when the next step isn't strong enough? We keep on making divergence. Reversal. Okay, Cardano is moving up. It hit our sell zone. So we TP'd on Cardano now. So I'm really happy about that. And there's the red line, the simple, stupid little red line. And I feel like Cardano does have another ace up its sleeve. So I think we're going to push into the 70s over the weekend and ultimately still try and go crazy ballistic and go for that 85 cents. So have a look at your Cardano, but warning sign. We've now got an accelerated expectation of success here, meaning people are thinking that it's going to make more money in less time. The momentum is getting stronger. So if this line breaks, this still remains bullish long term, but there's going to be those that think that's going to be an easy ride, they're going to vacate the 8 hours. So you might see a big sell-off. Now, how low can that go? Potentially down to this level here. Okay, simply put, but what do I want to see when we do get there? Two things. Price, not go below that line, but the RSI going below that level, potentially, or that level, giving me hidden bullish divergence. I need to see hidden bullish divergence. See there, RSI going lower, price not going lower. That tells me this trend is safe. So first it needs to sell in order for us to find out, but ultimately that's what I'm going to be looking for as a danger sign. Let's head over to DOT real quick. So DOT is also creeping up, slowly but surely moving up. We broke key levels, and as I explained to you guys over here was a lot of supply, sellers, and expect if we get above it, it should ramp up really quick. It did. It mashed out two supply zones, this one and that one. The third one still waiting. So simply put, DOT needs to reload. Let's clean this up. There's a buy zone coming, guys. So what do we want to see? There's a low. Okay, there's a little gap there. So this instance, I expect price to wick into this area here. Go into that little gap there. Bargain of the year. Potentially the year's almost over. There's not going to be a lot of bargain there. But then I would expect DOT to go make a higher high. Mash out all these bears, because what needs to happen? This gap needs to fill. Bitcoin's already done the job. Solana's already done the job. Link has already done the job. DOT still needs to. Cardano is basically about to, and so forth and so forth. Let's go to the smaller ones. So let this thing run. And I think for today, tomorrow, I think it's already launched on Binance. At some stage, what do you not want to see? Let's delete all the old lines. Let's move our FIB up. 23.6. Okay, so look at today. bonkers now really gone bonkers, okay? The divergence and the momentum is crazy, but this opens the door for the blow-off top theory. Okay, so if we start doing this, use whatever's on top of it as a sell signal to try and get more bonk for the bull cycle. It's already telling you that there's a good marketing team behind it. There's a good strategic area of getting the news out behind this. So let's go to Solana and let me give you a little bit of a, this is what you do going into the future tip. Okay, so I'm zooming out on Solana or going right back at the beginning, and all of them basically do this. They go bonkers, go to Binance, come back, you buy. Simple as that. And the fib that you use for that is normally 618, 786, and potentially the 887, depending on the structure that you have. So going back to bonkers or bonk, I want to call it bonkers because it went bonkers. And we zoom into this. This can just as simple be something like this. Comes back to these levels. There's a lot of confluence there. So the 786 in this instance does look really good. To do what? To make that look like a little daily candle wick, to go up 1,000%, 10,000% over the bull cycle. If you have $1,000 portfolio, guys, that's always a simple math on this. Take $50 and allocate it to something like this. Because if you lose 50 out of 1,000, you won't cry. You're not gonna have a sleepless night. And if this thing goes to 0, you've lost 50. That's how bad it needs to be in order for you to lose. You're early, bull cycle still far away. Price will come back, my friends. And when it does, you grab it. And then you enjoy. See how that 50 turns into 5,000, which by definition means this can easily turn into 100,000 or 1 million. Okay, if you do this with enough projects. Okay, comp. The boring one, okay? Long sideways at major resistance areas. RSI has not reset on this one, but the trend is still there. Now, remember, guys, when we're in these accumulation areas, things can slow down and get boring, okay? Best example was Link. Link did nothing while it was doing this, okay? So you're potentially sitting in a coin, comp, either there, either there, either there. But the fact that there's that long grind means at some stage you're going to thank yourself for your patience. So consider this. If all stays as is and the market does what it needs to do, comp is a carbon print of what Link was. Okay? Break above those lines, you're going to start moving fast. Let's load it real quick. AVAX. Smash that original area. See what I mean with dot. Okay? Dot is here somewhere within the scale of emotions. Okay? Dot just basically ruined these guys and these guys' day. And it's sitting there. This still needs to happen for dot. That's what I'm expecting for dot. Okay? Let's bring back dot real quick so you can just see what I mean. Okay. It's ruined these guys' day. Those still going to get ruined. Okay. So AVAX has basically done that. Now I need to find it again. Okay. It's done that. Amazingly so. Into the gap it goes. So see, I've got a vibrating phone there. So into the gap it goes, guys. What do you want it to do? You want to hold and enjoy the ride because it's probably going to go to 55, like you say. No brainer. A lot of resistance. Why? Simply put, big engulfing structure there, a nice gap there. So expect price to do this. And how do you trade this? Magic gone fib. That bottom to that top. A little gone fib in there. Let's just get it on the right bottom. That bottom to that top. But that's on the basis that we have divergence, which we don't. So once we go and make a higher high and we create a little bit more structure, we'll potentially then be able to apply this little fib here. So there's nothing to say. It's going up, guys. Enjoy it. Ride the run. And 55 potentially, yes. Why? Because of this gap. Only thing that can change that is if BTC decides to not go above that line and sell off. Okay. Dominance, real quick, as closing thought. Why am I so bullish on these alts? For years, we've just been doing Bitcoin on this stream. Everybody sees this as a BTC stream. So why all of a sudden just alts, alts, alts? Well, simply put, this was when we started. BTC was the favored child in the crypto market space. And we've seen divergences in the past, and we had all this. But now, for the first time, we had a little mini alt season that sparked a lot of interest, and a lot of good marketing was done for the crypto space. We've created yet another higher high, and we've fallen below that pivot. So from a bull's point of view, as dominance, as I normally say, the market gets stepped up, okay? Steps up, steps up, steps up, steps up. All of a sudden, we're getting smaller steps. Smaller steps says momentum's going away. Bitcoin is doing what it's supposed to do, but the rest of the stuff is lighting up. Guys, link to everything you want to know, need to know, is in the video description. Join our Discord and open your Prime account today. Say thanks to the channel. Support this channel by doing so. If you fund your Prime account, there's still the deal up for fund your Prime today with $2,000, and you can actually get a month free on Premium Group. The reality is we're closing down on the Premium Group for the rest of the month. So realistically, I'll be sending you a 2-month coupon. So how does it get better than